We stole a go-kart.
We didn't steal it. We rented it for $130.
Welcome to Possibly Pickled. I'm Roland.
I'm Jodie, and we are possibly out in the middle of the ocean right now.
Yeah, we are possibly out in the middle of the ocean right now. This has been a really great vacation. We saved, 2 years?
Yeah.
And we were able to take all the kids with us. The adult children. We don't have any little kids. But we had a blast. How many days?
7 days, 8 nights, something like that.
Yeah,
8 days.
We go into port on the 9th day.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. So you really can't count that as a day. As it's not.
It's not. No, not at all. Because that focus is all about getting off the boat, the ship.
The ship. Yeah, and then when we left, there was late. So the captain on the previous sailing to ours, they had to reroute due to storms. So instead of the 11 o'clock boarding time, we had a 4 p.m. or 11 a.m. boarding time. We had a 4 p.m. boarding time. Yeah. So everything got shifted. But
it wasn't too bad, though.
No. But
outside of the late afternoon traffic.
Yes.
Yeah, that was fun.
Because we had to drive through like the Washington, D.C., and which wasn't, the D.C. part wasn't too bad. It was the Baltimore traffic that was wretched.
Yeah, definitely.
But we've had a really good time. So we've sailed 2 days at sea to go from Baltimore down to
Bimini.
Bimini?
I'm always pronouncing it wrong.
I don't know. I'm sure somebody will correct me.
Yes. Not me. I'm smarter than that.
Yeah, and we have some pictures and stuff I'll try to show. So from Bimini. And then that was day one, and then we hopped at the end of the day. We hopped back up. Well, let's talk about what we did.
Pause? Can we talk about Bimini? Okay, so first thing we did was we rented a little side-by-side
golf cart.
We stole a go-kart.
We didn't steal it. We rented it for $130 for the day.
The kids were walking, but the golf cart was highly convenient. The Mini's not very big.
No, we paid $130 for the golf cart.
For an all-wheel drive golf cart.
Yeah, and we had it for the day, so which made it really worth it. Now the island itself is not very long. I mean, it's longer than it is wide by a lot. So it's not. I mean, you could practically see from one side of the island to the other.
Yeah, right. There are some parts of the island where you could stand on the beach on one side and throw a baseball to a beach on the other side.
And then, it was. So from one end to the other was from one half. It was I don't know how
4 miles to the end.
Yeah.
And then maybe 8 miles long total. Could be longer. I didn't do the math.
Yeah.
After getting our cart, though, we were driving towards the south end of the island, and we came across a local jerk chicken shack.
It was good. Now, obviously, they wanted the tourists to stop there. However, you always know it's good whenever you have the locals that go and get food there.
Yeah,
and it was good.
It was freaking delicious. It was probably the best jerk chicken I ever had.
Yeah, so it was jerk chicken, and then you were offered 3 sides, and the 3 sides that I chose were the peas and rice, the crab salad, and the mac and cheese. Now that mac and cheese, out of everything, the mac and cheese was the spiciest. It had a kick to it. It was good though.
They were delicious though. The mac and cheese was really good, and the jerk chicken was freaking amazing.
Mm-hmm.
The cook, the guy who was back there, doing a big smoker that they're cooking all their food on, and the guy who was out there cooking it asked us, "What sauce did you put on it?" And I'm like, I didn't need any sauce.
Yeah.
It was perfectly seasoned. You could taste the chicken and the great spices. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I really did too.
Yeah.
It was good. Then we stopped there, and then we had picked up one of our daughters and her boyfriend, and the other two were
Lord knows where.
Yeah.
Doing their own thing.
Doing their own thing. So we now there. So when you get off the ship at the end of the dock, so there was another ship that was dock. Was there another ship when we got there? No.
Bimini? No
there
ship at
was-
Bimini. Well, there was one that came in,
After us.
and it was a ferry from the mainland because Bimini is, I think it's like 56 miles from Miami. So spring breakers can just hop on a ferry that's high speed across the 56 mile straight and then hang out all day long.
And they did have multiple resorts, and it looked like some timeshares there as well.
Yeah, they did. So if you left the port, if you turn left, you get all of the timeshare or resort area stuff, which wasn't really overwhelming. You know, it wasn't like overly aggressive like Atlantis on Nassau that you could see it for miles and miles away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and then the other side is
basically where everybody lives.
Yeah, and that's the side that we went through. And we stopped at a couple cemeteries.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We were looking for old
history. So well, let me reverse that a little bit. So when you get off the end of the dock, and back it up. So when you get everybody's going to want to try to rent you
a
golf cart. I don't know all the prices, but we did some research ahead of time, and so we looked for a group that had a good rating, or a place that had a good rating. So we went and found them, and we were happy with them. And I mean, I don't know if our rate was great or not. I mean, it ended up, they told us a higher price than it said on the website.
Well, so it depends on which cart you wanted.
You're right. You're right.
So $100 cart is basically what they said it would cost on the website, and that's that's a basic golf cart, and of course that sits a little bit lower to the ground, and the one we got was basically a jacked up golf cart. And if you wanted the jacked up golf cart, because who doesn't want the jacked up golf cart, then
Right.
Yeah. So of course I opted for the one that appeared as if it were four-wheel drive. I'm sure it wasn't. But I was like, big tires lifted, yes please.
Yeah, and there was a lot of, I mean, the roads were not great.
No.
So it was nice to have the tires that could handle a little bit more of the sand and dirt.
Oh yes. Yeah, it was. Yeah. So we drove down to the beach.
We drove down to the beach. We drove all the way down to the beach.
Yeah.
At the very end, and got to put some feet in and see some fish, and we saw a shipwreck.
Yeah.
We took some fun photos down there.
Oh, we did. We took some fantastic photos down there.
Yeah, so we went down there, and when our daughters and her boyfriend, they're like, we don't beach, and so they walked back to a bar and walked back to the ship. But so they walked that, and it wasn't too bad of a walk for them. Yeah. We stayed down there for quite a while.
Yeah, we were there for a couple hours, I think.
Yes.
My only regret is with just the two of us and the cart, and you can't go to the beach without a beach bag.
Right.
And we didn't necessarily have a whole lot in it. I'm thinking now I should have brought that hip pack.
Yeah.
So we had a waterproof hip pack that I forgot to bring, and if we would have, we could have put a lot of our stuff in it.
Yeah.
And then just worn that, and both of us could have got on the water. But basically, we took turns.
Because we had to stay with our phones and our
Yeah.
passes and all that.
Yeah, but then of course I took fantastic video of you all in the water.
I think I got some.
Getting ogled by some people.
Right. Yeah, but it was fun. It was fun. It was a great experience. And where we ended up going, the waves were very mild.
Oh yeah.
because it was kind of in an inlet area.
Yeah, we were on like the leeward side.
Yeah, so that was nice.
Yeah.
And then after we made our way back, we drove because there's only two streets. There's one street one way, and I mean they're two-way streets, but one was on one side. They were kind of split with some housing in the middle and some shops in the middle. But we ended up taking the other way, and we went back and found another great location for some photos, and we did some. We found another cemetery. That was the goal, was to go find this other cemetery, and we did, and we found. So, what I thought was interesting. So one of the big type of meals that they do around here is the conch.
Yes. Yeah.
The conch salad. So the shells, the conch shells. They harvest the mollusk. I'm assuming it's like a mollusk that's in there, right? But then they end up with these shells. And there was one restaurant that just had them all piled like it was like a graveyard.
It was like a shell graveyard, and we're talking, like 5 foot high piles.
I have a photo. I'll share that too.
Okay, yeah.
But so it kind of made me a little concerned for the sustainability for that as a food product, because they're obviously harvesting this for tourists. I mean, they're doing it for themselves, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But if they were just feeding themselves, it wouldn't be. I wouldn't see it as much of a sustainability issue.
I would have expected to see more chickens.
Yeah.
And some other. It seems like the kind of place where, because the island's so small, you could probably get pigs.
Yeah.
And, because they're not going to disappear.
No.
Oh, but they do swim.
They do
so
swim.
Maybe they would disappear to the South Bimini.
So that's one of the. Was that one of the options there? I don't know if that was one of the options.
Swimming with the pigs there?
Yeah.
No.
Okay,
it
so
wasn't.
they do have, and we'll talk about that in the next one. We'll talk about our adventure to Nassau.
Yeah.
But they do have swimming with the pigs in some of the Caribbean ports as an excursion. So that's kind of interesting.
Fun.
Yeah. So I think overall, I mean, I would totally do Bimini again. I think so. And I say that because I really liked where we were at on the beach.
Oh yeah.
So
it was somewhat secluded.
It was somewhat secluded, and we were sitting underneath trees.
Yeah.
And which was keeping the heat of the day off of us, because out of all of the days that we were on at port, that was the warmest day.
Yeah, yes, I think so too.
And but we did spend some time in the water, and that was fun. And
I tried to catch fish. These hands.
It was great.
They ran away.
Yeah, they didn't want to be caught.
Yeah. It was fun though, and then I got hit by a rogue wave because no one warned me.
You're in the ocean.
Yeah, you're right. I should have kept my head on a swivel. Yep.
So that was day one, and I guess stay tuned for day two.
Yeah.
And this is the part of the video where I tell you to like, subscribe, and follow along. And don't forget to leave a comment below.